Hello and welcome to GageMakkal. In this video, we will look at top 8 features of GageMakkal. The first of that is to organize and search any of your gauges or instrument much easily. You can organize all your instruments and gauges in a single place, and you can search any instrument either based on an asset number or serial number or however you have it organized, as simple as possible. So here is GageMakkal with some set of instruments, and how I added all those instruments. I went through the adding the make, the manufacturer in first place, giving some pictures for them, and then adding the relevant models. For example, leak decay test controller, which is relevant to only ATEC, and then going into the instruments and adding the instruments either one at a time or as a bulk. Thus, I have all my instruments organized in a single place, and once I have the instruments there, I can do any kind of searches I want. For example, in the search box, I can search for lighthouse instruments, and the search can just list the lighthouse instruments for me. And that's how you can easily organize and easily search through any instruments. And the second feature of the GageMakkal is to have a single dashboard that will give a view of all of your instruments' calibration status in a single page. It can allow you to categorize the risky items, high risk items, overdue items, as well as whichever is very good, to have a look in a simple dashboard. Back to our screen, when I go to the dashboard, I can have a look at the level of information from only to my level or to my team level or to my whole organization level, whether the items are in overdue, high risk, risk items, or calibrated, or some calibration in progress. We can also filter out based on the teams, based on the specific person, or based on a specific make or model, and look at how each of the individual items are looking like in a graph. We can also have a look at the overall status of the number of items on different categories and have a look at the top 5 items that needs an attention that has to be calibrated or to be attended immediately. So that's how you can easily have a view of the complete instruments in a single dashboard. Number 3, certificate history, where you can detail out all each individual instruments and also track the history certificates of each independent instruments. When we go back to the all instruments, we can have a look at all of the instruments and we can select specific instruments and go in detail of them and give the details like the pictures of the specific instruments, what is the asset ID, specific team that is responsible for that instrument, typical lead time for calibration, when it goes out and when it comes back in, how long it takes, things like that, the next calibration date, the frequency of the calibration annually, 2-year ones, 5-year ones, 6-month ones, and also specifically you can give the history details of that specific instrument. Where you can go into the details of it and you can have the details of each history certificates, the dates, and when was it calibrated, who calibrated it, who approved it, whether it is an as found, as left, and also some comments that are relevant to that specific history. That way you can track all your individual certificate history and detail out each individual instruments. Number 4, grouping instruments. You can group or cluster the instruments as you need to set some behaviors. For example, you can set some availability for some set of instruments, only then that instruments becomes available for calibration. When we go back all clusters, here you can have a look at some set of clusters that have in specific locations where it is like in specific building 1 or building 2, production line or hardware lines, a hardware team, or you can set your own name for the locations and also set whether it is an always available instruments that can be calibrated at any point of time, or you can set a specific time and date at which that specific instrument is available. You can make it as a recursive so that it will come back again and again in a specific time period. And that's how you can do the grouping of your instruments as a cluster in GageMakkal. Number 5. Assign team and assign users for specific instruments. So here you can assign the instruments to a specific team. This could be your internal team or your external team, like your vendors who is responsible for calibrating the instruments, or you can even assign any specific person internally in your organization or externally who has to look after that. Here we are back in the instrument list, and when we look at any specific instruments, you can look at here that specific team is assigned to this instrument, like a tech team, and the person responsible to that instrument can be assigned here, and that person will start getting the notification emails when it is time for calibration. And that's how you can assign any specific team, internal or external vendors, to the instruments and to a specific users to give the right notification at right time. Number 6. Alert emails. As we have just seen, assigned team and the assigned persons will start getting the email alerts on any upcoming calibrations on daily basis, as well as email alerts will go out for that specific person when their instruments are due for calibration. Number 7. Bulk actions. You can add and update number of calibration certificates that you have in a single shot. There is an upcoming artificial intelligence system will detect your certificate and update to the specific instrument on the system and reduce your work going forward. Last but not least, number 8. Dependency Intelligence. You might have the golden instruments or standards that you use internally for calibrating the other meters or gauges. Whenever the golden instruments goes out for calibration, it might affect your other calibrations that happens in-house. System can automatically adjust your normal instrument due dates and suggest you the best date in advance that you want to calibrate to avoid any overdues. This includes any of your cluster dates. If your line goes for a preventive maintenance, for example, you can set the dates on which the line is available. Only on those dates, intelligence system will suggest you the dates. I am Ajay, and this is GageMakkal. It can bring you all these top 8 features that is going to be indispensable for managing any of your calibration systems in-house. Feel free to reach us, and thanks for watching.